So what happened was Charles threw a right hand that dropped Gaethje. So he's gone boom, Gaethje's gone down. Yep, so jump down for me here. And this is the difference between someone like Charles and someone like Gaethje. Oliveira's background is in Jiu Jitsu, and so when he got dropped, he got twice dropped in that first round. If you get dropped, what's the first thing you do when you hit on the ground? Feet come up, back go down, and you use this to give yourself a little bit of a barrier in this position here, so it at least buys you some time. Oliveira's ground game is so good that no one wants to engage with him, so everyone just backs away and lets him get up. But Gaethje's a little bit more of a wrestler, so as soon as he got dropped, lay down for me there, as soon as he got dropped, Gaethje wanted to get up, yeah. And as he's come up, he's stepped through into this sort of sitting guard, and he ended up, just by pure happenstance, had this inside arm here in between Oliveira's legs. The problem with that is it lets you straight away step around and take the back. Whenever we're talking about seated guard, we talk about the outside arm wants to be the one that wraps around here, because now if I try and step around to his back, he can post on my leg with this other arm. He can stop me coming around. I can't step and take the back this way because I end up facing the same direction. Now, I don't think that was intentional. I don't think that was a technical error. I think that he was rocked and he's just sat straight back up, and as Oliveira's pressed forward, because he didn't have to worry about Gaethje's groundwork, so he's pressed in to finish. He just happened to find himself here. This let Oliveira step straight around, and they've fallen in this kind of position here. So he's got this leg over the top and he's sunk his other hook in. Once he got to here, he was kind of hanging onto this arm. He was landing some elbow strikes in this position here, switched, and then he's fallen to this side. Now, normally when we do these rear triangles, we want to fall to the opposite side of the arm so that we can pull up onto that side and lock a nice tight triangle in this position here to get the finish. However, Charles, for whatever reason, his weight must have been this way a little bit. He's actually fallen the opposite way here. So he's ended up locking kind of a reverse triangle. So his grip was actually the opposite of what it would usually be in this position here, which makes it really, really hard to finish. That's allowed Gaethje to turn, and as they've turned out, they've kind of come up into this little bit of a scramble where Oliveira was on top like this. Straight away, he's fallen, he's got his hooks in, ended up in this position here, and after a brief little hand fight where Gaethje was trying to fight the hands, he's managed to re-get it through, lock, and get the finish in this position here. So a couple of big things from that position, sort of perspective that make this really stand out is when you look at Oliveira's ground game, as soon as he gets rocked every fight nearly. Every single time. Can you stand up for 1 second? I'm Oliveira, I get rocked, bang. This is the first thing that happens every single time. Now he's got something that he can up kick with, he can kick to knees, he can start to at least keep distance to protect his head and start to fight off his back from this position here. But again, Gaethje being the wrestler has just sat straight up because he's wanting to wrestle straight back up. Again, big thing that went wrong for him, inside arm came through, which gave the back straight away to Oliveira. So if you do find yourself playing this seated guard, whether it's in MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, you wrestle your way up, you want to try your best to get this outside hand through here. So now if I need to, if he steps to my back, I can at least post off, and I can still wrestle my way up from this position here. I can still come up and start to finish my takedowns and end up back on top like this. And then the last thing, if we go back to that rear triangle, so if you just spin this way for me, from this position here, what would have probably allowed Oliveira to get that rear triangle was, rather than locking the feet on the opposite side to the arm that he had controlled, so rather going this side, when now there's all this shoulder and chest he has to choke through, he would have been better off if he could have holding this way and falling with that shoulder up and finishing in this position here to get a nice tight rear triangle from this position here. He might have finished him off. Didn't really matter though, because he's still got the rear naked, and became the new #1 contender at the lightweight division. All right, thank you, mate. It was